I don't know how to say this. Uh, this lady was out riding her bike the other day with her father, and as she was riding, her father asked, as they were driving down the main street, riding their bikes, said, am I clear to get over? And the girl's like, yes, you are, after this car. And as soon as the father heard, yes, you are, he moved over. And right before he was struck by the car, she said, after this car. And the car hit the back of the bike, killing the father instantly. True story. Words matter. How you say things, the way you say things, the way you phrase things, they matter. Your words matter more. If I had to sum this video up for you to stop watching it right now, it would be your words matter more than you think because you're more powerful than you realize. They matter more than you think. And as I read that story and heard about her father, this happened, I started to think like, maybe it does matter. And I started to look at myself and I started to look at people. And it changed the way that I even coach people because I started to realize like, wait a minute, if you're saying this to me, this is not the first time you've said it. And if someone's talking a certain way, it's not the first time they talk like that. Someone's saying, oh my gosh, how crazy, how stupid, what a dumb idea. Like someone who talks like that is someone who talks like that a lot. And that means they also talk to themselves like that. Your words matter. Like words that are just in your vocabulary, like can't. I was with my little brother the other day back when I was in the States. And he was like, let's just give up on that. And I was like, bro, stop. He's like, what? I was like, bro, don't say that. He's like, say what? I was like, what you just said, man. He's like, what? What you just said. I wouldn't even repeat it. And he's like, oh, I know. He's like, yeah, I guess that's not right to say. Yeah, it's not. Because if you're used to saying it, then there's some kind of meaning that has for you. There's never been a time, at least in the past probably year and a half, because usually I'll ask a question. Like when I'm working with someone, I'll ask them a question. I'll be like, so what do you think about that? And they'll be like, well, I think it's this. And they're like, okay. And like, well, actually, no, it's not that. It's something. I say, no. Words have meaning. Those are the words that came out your mouth. It has meaning. Because sometimes we like to frame our words so we don't look a certain way. We can look better, or it sounds proper. But words have meaning. The way you talk to yourself has meaning. I think by the way, every Friday we have a master class. This past Friday it got changed because I can't remember what happened. Oh, the hurricane's going on in Mexico. But words have meaning, and one of the things we talk about every single class is the power of your words, meaning the questions that you ask. More I can tell, now I can truly honestly say this, I can almost tell how a person thinks by the questions that they ask. That's simple. Like I used to not believe that. I used to not think that. I was like, no, wait. No. I can absolutely tell what you think about yourself. I can absolutely tell by the questions that you ask. I've realized the way and this is not a video on questions, but the words make questions. And words are always going on in your mind. So words are so powerful because you got to understand, words are going on in your mind all the time. I can't remember how one of my mentors said it. He said something along the lines, you can't talk without words, but you can think without speaking. It's something along the lines of that. Like, you can't talk without words, but you can think without talking. And I take that to mean that words are always present in our mind. Even if we don't speak it, we're always thinking. If you notice, you're always thinking to yourself. You're always having, have you ever noticed all you have is an ongoing conversation with yourself all day, all the time? Have you ever thought about that? Some of you guys I've talked to, I know you struggle with sleeping. And the one thing I hear is I got all these thoughts in my mind. Those are words. And if you really want to dive deeper to it, it's all questions. It's all questions. So words have meaning because they're happening all the time. You know, everyone talks about changing your mindset, shifting your mindset. I'm gonna tell you something, because that word's very saturated in the world we live in now. Even me, when I talk to people and I'm like, yeah, I'm a life coach. It just doesn't, it feels right to me, but in the world we live in, that word is diluted. Life coach, everyone can be a life coach. I mean, I think everyone can be, because you've lived life, you have experience in life, you can help other people through it. But that word gets diluted. So sometimes you have to also understand the words of who you're speaking to. Some of you guys are pretty well when it comes to conversation with people, and you understand the importance of modeling when you're trying to build rapport with someone. And build rapport means you're speaking in a way that the other person understands. So for example, you want to always make sure, this is just a little side note, is that when you talk to someone, you're using words that is in their word book, words that they say. Like when I'm here in Mexico, everyone says, hey, wey. That means like bro. Everyone says wey. So when I talk to people, I speak in the words that they can understand me. If I say bro, it doesn't hit the same as the word that they use to me. Because that's how powerful our words are. They can connect us with somebody. They can literally connect us. I'm gonna show you the power of this. I want you to think about, do you remember in school? I want you just to think back to school. Just maybe from the age of 5 to 15. Can you remember someone in your class or your school who had the same name as you? Can you remember? Can you remember the person with the same? Matter of fact, can you remember what they look like? Can you remember what they look like? Like, how crazy is that? Because words matter. And we make the word matter. Some people say that they're bad with names. Well, a name is just a word, but it's a word that we doesn't really matter so much to us. But if I say, hey, remember this name, they're going to meet you and they're going to give you 50,000 United States dollars at this time in this place. You'd remember their name. You probably remember their phone number like this because of the importance that you attach to that word, meaning their name. Like, how do I know this? The word that you love to hear the most in the world is your own name. That's true no matter what language you speak. Because the whole point of this is for you to realize that your words really, truly matter. And the words that you say to yourself on a daily basis, the words you say to yourself when you're in the shower, when you're going for walks, they matter because the words are always going on in your mind. It's like something on repeat all the time, constantly being on repeat. So when it talks about changing your mindset, you change your words. Start using different words. You start to see different things. You start to see things different. Like businesses know it. If you're struggling in a business, you probably do know. But if you're early on in your business, like even me now, I look at myself now as I'm still early on. But most people don't know what their LTV is. Their customer's LTV. Meaning, quite simply, is what is their lifetime value? So when you get one person, what is that? What is the lifetime value of each person? Because you look at your customers different. You realize, oh, that does matter. That number does matter. Because then the more I get, it's like this is the average that everyone spends. It helps you to measure things a little bit better. And when you start to realize that, you start to look at things different. It changes the way you see the world when you start to realize certain words and definitions. We're going to have another video coming out talking about fear. Because fear, I believe, is really a lack of knowledge. But so many times, it all starts with the words. I believe it comes down to the words. I believe that words are more powerful than we realize by far. I think even in the Bible, when it says, God created the heavens and the earth, he spoke it into existence. He spoke it into existence. He spoke it into existence. He spoke it. And if you say, no, I want to visualize my future. Well, your words do that. Your words craft the picture and perspective that you have. The one thing that I tell people when they go on trips, and I tell people this because you got to be careful who you listen to. Why is that important? Because they're words. I tell people is you need to definitely make sure you describe your experiences with words that correlate to the experience that you desire. Luke, what does that mean? Speak more simply. It means how you describe something describes the thing. For example, there's some small complications that have happened in some of the travels that I'm doing lately. Some people call it stress. Some people call it horrible. Some people call it bad luck. Some people no, it's just, for me, the word I like to use is, and I heard this from this guy on an African safari. He was on African safari, my friend told me. My friend told me. He was a mentor of mine. I never met him in person, but yeah. He said something along the lines of, they were on this African safari and they're going out and there's all these lions around them and they're in this convertible, the safaris, you have this convertible, you're open, and they couldn't get the top to go up completely, so they're going to take off driving because the lions are moving closer. And they went to start the car would not start. And everyone's freaking out, and people said, this is horrible, this is scary, this is the worst experience ever, this is terrifying. People say, I knew I shouldn't have done this. These are all the words that are coming out of the mouths of all these people on this safari. And this one fellow on the safari, he said, wow, well, this is inconvenient. He said, this is inconvenient. This is, and you're right. Because the words create our experience. It's inconvenient. I love that word when things don't work out. Because when you say other things, it literally puts imprints of your heart, on your heart, of a certain situation. Some people say this is horrible, this is so stressful, this is the worst thing, and that's one way. That's one way to describe your experience. But because words are amazing, you can use many different ways to describe your experience. And I say that because some of you might be in a challenging situation right now, and the words you're using to describe the situation is making you feel a certain way about the situation. And the certain way you feel about the situation is influencing how you deal with it. Is it the worst thing that's ever happened to you, or is it just an inconvenience at this moment? Is this leading you to the next thing? The words that you say, because the words go in the questions. We can start to change the questions you ask yourself, but if you don't upgrade your vocabulary, replace some words. Problems, replace the word problems with puzzle. Like, I have a puzzle I have to solve right now. Not I have a horrible situation that I'm in. Little shifts like this can make the biggest difference. I truly love helping people figure things out, because I really believe we're all trying to figure things out. But the one thing I realize is to craft my words much more carefully. The one thing I love about being here on YouTube and being in the podcast is it allows me to speak, allows me to get my words right, allows me to how can I recraft this on the fly for this situation. And at the same time, I need to listen to what people are saying. So many people say, well, I don't have any people to help. Like, who are you talking to? There's people going through things all the time. Can you be a detective to listen? Not to what they're saying. Can you hear the things that they haven't said yet? Can you hear what's not being said? Because a lot of people, this will be a whole nother conversation, whole nother video, but a lot of people, they just make noise out their face. I believe the question, or I believe the phrase is like as within, so without, or something like this. But I really believe when someone's trying to explain something to me and they can't do it in a simple way, it means their thoughts aren't in order. Stop talking. Because the second you open your mouth, you start to show the world who you are. The second you do it, the second you start to open your mouth, you show me who you are. Like, I've had to deal I've had to be in the middle of a lot of different situations lately where things have gone not according to plan. With people who I know, people who are close to me, business that I've had to deal with. And as I'm talking to them, I'm like, is this what you're saying to yourself? You really can't find another solution? Like, you can't find another solution. You think that there's only one way. Like, can you not think out? How about the question is like, is there another way to get this done? And if there was another way to get this done, what would you start to say? Or if you change and see things from another perspective. Some of you guys just need to see things from another perspective, and that would change your whole life. Like literally just see it from another way. What's something I'm not seeing? What am I missing here? These are questions I love to ask. I talked to a lady a while back at a cafe, and they were just telling me all about their business. Like, I don't know how we got talking to business, but they were just talking all about it. And then I was just like, that's so great, that's so cool. And I was like, yeah, it's amazing. And we're sitting there talking. And then all of a sudden I was just like, well, I mean, what's missing in your business right now? And both these young ladies just started to look at each other because they were in the same business. And they were just looking at each other and they're just like, we have no time. So as much as they were making money and helping other people, they had no time. But maybe they never asked that question. We could talk about how you measure things. Like, I have a whole separate session about that. Like how you measure something really and truly matters. But more importantly is like the question. The questions are all made of words. And if you just look at it like this, then you're forgetting that there's always an up and a down. There's always different ways of seeing something. And the words that I chose to use was words that just can bring out what we can work on. And then all of a sudden they said no time. So now it's like, okay, now we have a starting point. We have a place where we can start to work and build. And I say all this because our words matter. The words you use don't allow you to see where you have room to improve. The words you use don't put you in a state where you can actually solve and figure out the situation. The words you use aren't helping you out the way that you think that they should be helping you out. It's all about the words. Words have meaning. The words have meaning. And as I say that, just listen to what you say to yourself today. As you go about your day, just look at what you're saying. Listen to what you're telling yourself. Listen to the words that come out of your mouth. Some people aren't even aware. I was having a conversation with a client, and I was saying along the lines of like, well, I can't remember how I said it. I think I said along the lines of like, can you hear that you've said this like 8 times since we've talked? And they're like, oh no, I didn't realize it. You didn't realize it. You didn't realize you were even talking to yourself because the words are so comfortable, we don't even realize it. There's people who hated snow and now they live in it and they just don't like it, and that's it. They didn't even realize it anymore. It doesn't change the fact that you like to be on a beach and that was always your dream. You just, someone said like when you stay in poop long enough, it stops smelling bad. Words have meaning. Change your words, you'll change what you see. When you change what you see, you change what you get. When you change what you get, you change how you are. It all goes just in a circle. So that would be my blessing to you, for you to realize that your words have meaning more than you even realize. Like, and when you start to notice that, you're going to start to see, I like to call it, people call it coincidences for word's sake. You're going to start to see all these synchronicities happening. You know, I'm in a new city right now, and I was looking for a Walmart, because it's a Walmart, and I love going to Walmart. I don't know, something about going to college and, you know, just walking around Walmart. You have nothing to do. And I couldn't find it. And I'm riding around, and in the country I'm in right now, there's shops called Waldo. And I remember like turning, I'm like, well, the Walmart should be around here. I didn't see it, and I'm riding, and I'm like, Waldo. I was like, no, not Waldo. I'm like, Walmart. And then as soon as I turned the corner, Walmart right there. I was like, Walmart. Like, and I was just like, the power of speaking something into existence. You could believe in it or not. I'm just asking you, as my friend Natty always tells me, just try it on for size. Try it on for size is all I ask. So with that being said, realize the power of your words, because the power of your words just shows you the power of yourself. Change the words and watch what else can change. You'll be surprised. See you in the next video.